and, and their work towards advancing the profession of social work. So we'll go ahead and get started.
All right, our first award is for the Phyllis Black Lifetime Achievement Award. The Phyllis Black Lifetime Achievement Award celebrates a social worker that has amassed a body of outstanding work throughout their career. And Dr. Larry E. Davis exemplifies that standard. Dr. Davis has spent his life and his entire career devoted to civil rights, eliminating racism, and that all-important social work value of social justice. He spent time directly serving clients in poor neighborhoods, but has devoted most of his time in academia. He got a dual degree in psychology and social work to best combine the strengths of both fields. He spent years as a professor at Washington University in St. Louis before coming to the University of Pittsburgh, where he served as dean for more than 16 years. There, he also founded the Center on Race and Social Problems and served as its founding director. The center conducts research on race, ethnicity, and color, and was the first such center in the U.S. He is nationally recognized as a top scholar in the field of race and social justice. He has also written, edited, or co-authored 7 books, including his most recent and most personal, Why Are They Angry With Us? Essays on Race. He has founded 2 national organizations and is the recipient of numerous awards, including national awards from CSWE and the Society for Social Work and Research. And while his work in this field continues on through this day, his many years in the field and his body of work are truly extraordinary and worthy of our celebration. And so the Pennsylvania chapter of NASW is proud to present the Phyllis Black Lifetime Achievement Award to Dr. Larry E. Davis.
Okay, am I on? Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me. It's a real honor to be the recipient of Dr. Phyllis Black's Lifetime Achievement Award. I want to thank NASW of Pennsylvania for selecting me for this award. I also want to thank Ms. Joanna Bird for the very professional coordination of my involvement. A few nights ago, I received a very unexpected email. It was from Dr. Black, congratulating me for being the recipient of her award. However, she is clearly the one deserving of the accolades. So I want to thank her for all that she has done for social work. Much to my surprise, yesterday, Dr. Black emailed me once again, this time in response to a question I had asked her. She informed me that the document that best reflects the essence of our democracy, ethos of our profession, and her own aspirations was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. letter from the Birmingham jail. It is the case that the focus of this award is very timely. Dr. Black is foremost known for the contributions she has made to the ethics in social work. She expanded our thinking about the nature of education for social work with integrity, substance, and commitment. And it would be safe to say that now more than ever, our society could benefit greatly from Dr. Black's tutelage on the importance of ethical behavior. We are but a few days away from the most important election of any of our lifetimes. And irrespective of who wins the presidency, our country will be in dire need of the skills, knowledge, and expertise which social workers have to offer. Never before have professional social workers been needed more. We must rise to the occasion and let our voices be heard and our presence felt. There's little doubt that our country's future will be challenging, requiring that we exhibit the commitment, will, and courage to stand up against unfair, unjust, and unethical behavior. But after all, that is what we have been trained to do. And yes, while I do expect that our society will witness some future difficulties, I also believe that we as social workers will play an important role in the timely, ultimately making our society a more perfect one. So let us once again remember the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. following the conclusion of the 1956 Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott. He said, and I quote, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." It is truly an honor to receive this award. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And make sure you check the comment section. You have a lot of people commenting in there. We're so honored to have you with us here today.
Well, I'm really delighted to be here. I'm really delighted. Absolutely. I find all this technology a little bewildering, you know? It's like, wow, I'm a dinosaur. I don't know how to do this. I'll be happy to answer any questions. So is there something, can you tell me if there's or comment? He's doing it. Mhm.
There we go. Ready? Okay. Yay. Okay. NASW Public Citizen of the Year Award honors an outstanding member of the community whose accomplishments exemplify the values and mission of professional social work. This year, the obvious choice was to give this award to our Secretary of Health for the Commonwealth, Rachel Levine. In her early career, Dr. Levine made a significant impact in the field of teen health, eating disorders, as an advocate for the LGBTQ community. In 2015, when Dr. Levine joined Governor Wolf's administration, she made history by becoming the highest ranked transgender state official in the nation. She then made significant achievements in fighting the opioid epidemic. And the coronavirus hit, while many in leadership around the country were scrambling. Dr. Levine distinguished herself by proactively addressing the coronavirus and the state's response. One of her strengths has been communicating with public and the media, providing calm, thoughtful, timely, and accurate updates. Became a trusted and reassuring voice that provided needed guidance. And I will tell you from my own perspective, watching her daily updates was like calm in a sea of chaos. No, I felt that way, and I think probably a lot of other people did as well. Throughout all of this, while having a high level of approval from Pennsylvanians, she also had to withstand a constant influx of misgendering, dead naming, and other LGBTQ harassment from both members of the public and even a few elected officials. She has responded with grace while still taking a stand, recognizing that hate speech in the public eye was harmful, and not just her, would negatively impact LGBTQ youth. We want to thank Dr. Levine for her advocacy, her strength, and most importantly, her leadership through these difficult times. So we are honored to present this award for Public Citizen of the Year to Dr. Rachel Levine.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for attending this really wonderful virtual event. I am really so honored to receive the National Association of Social Workers Public Citizen of the Year Award. It is really very meaningful. As you know, COVID-19 is right now the greatest public health threat that we all face in the United States and globally. COVID-19 impacts all of us. It impacts our families. It impacts our co-workers. It impacts our communities and our Commonwealth. What this virus has truly shown is how interconnected we all really are. And we all have to work together, especially now that we are facing the fall resurgence that we have been discussing. You know, I have worked with social workers my entire career, and it has always been so meaningful, so wonderful to work with such a fantastic group of professionals. And, you know, really, when you think about what social workers do in all of your different capacities, what the common theme is that social workers help people. Social workers work to improve the lives of others, and that is absolutely so essential given our current challenges. Social workers help individuals, they help families in their daily lives and during some of the most vulnerable moments, whether that's in the hospital, whether that's in the office, whether that's in a clinic, and so many different venues where social workers work. And this work now is more important than ever during the global pandemic of COVID-19. Really, social workers help ensure that every individual can lead a healthy life and that every family can work together to do so. No matter their race, their location, their education, their income level, or any other variable. Social workers are really found in every facet of community life. What we have seen in this pandemic is that it has magnified what are known, of course, as the social determinants of health and the health disparities that our communities face in Pennsylvania and the nation. One of the hallmarks of the Pennsylvania Department of Health, and something that we work on every day, is health equity. And I firmly believe that health equity is the foundation of public health. Health equity means that every individual, everyone can lead a healthy life, no matter their location, their education, their income level, their race, their ethnicity, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, or any other variable that you might name. Really, and then the opportunity to lead a healthy life is really a fundamental human right. So we all really have to all work together to achieve health equity, and social workers do that every day. We have to work against health disparities. And again, COVID-19 has really shown the iceberg beneath the tip about health disparities in Pennsylvania and our nation. individuals from racial and ethnic minority groups are disproportionately represented in work settings such as healthcare facilities, farms, factories, grocery stores, public transportation. And really, we have shown that vulnerable populations have a higher risk of exposure to COVID-19, and then increased risk of having a negative, a severe reaction to COVID-19. The Department of Health and the entire Wolf administration are committed to working to eliminate health disparities across the Commonwealth. We have a COVID-19 health equity task force within the Department of Health. There is a health equity task force led by the Lieutenant Governor that our task force works with. And we're actually meeting with the governor tomorrow with that group. All Pennsylvanians deserve equal access to care, especially during these challenging times with the COVID-19. And really, you as social workers help us every day to challenge and to overcome these disparities. You play such a significant role in keeping your communities safe, keeping families safe. And I think that we're firmly committed that working together, we can overcome this virus. If we stand united, we can overcome this virus. There is a collective responsibility for all of us to work towards the common good. And you all, as social workers, typify that and really show us that as an example every day. So thank you again for this really amazing award. I am so honored and humbled. Thank you.
We are so honored to have you here with us today, Dr. Levine. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much. What an honor to have Dr. Levine here with us today. I will be presenting the next award. It's the Kristen Bowser Emerging Social Work Leader Award. This award recipient either could be a current BSW or MSW student enrolled in a CSW accredited program or have 5 or fewer years of post-degree experience. Make a demonstrable difference in such areas as community service and leadership, advocacy, social work practice, education, research, management, and leadership. Task risks to achieve results, contribute a positive image for the social work profession, and be an NASW Pennsylvania member in good standing. It is my true honor to present this award to someone that I have looked up to for several years. Tanisha Bowman is just someone that I continue to root for daily as she continues to demonstrate the NASW Code of Ethics, really pushing the profession, pushing herself, and making other people better social workers. Tanisha is a native of Northern Virginia area and first attended the Northern Virginia Community College, where she earned her associate's degree in social services with a deaf specialization, as well as a career studies certification in American Sign Language. She then went on to graduate in May of 2015 from George Mason University with her BSW. Following her graduation from GMU, Tanisha moved to Pittsburgh, where she earned her MSW, the University of Pittsburgh, graduating in December of 2016. After graduation, Tanisha completed a Deaf and Dying Fellowship through the Jewish Healthcare Foundation and accepted a position at UPMC as an ICU social worker. Tanisha currently works as a supportive and palliative care social worker at UPMC Presbyterian Shadyside, where she is a member of the Palliative Care Section's Anti-Racism and Social Justice Committee. Tanisha has been an active member of NASW since she began her BSW program and spent a total of 5 years serving in state chapter boards. Served one term as the BSW representative to the NASW Virginia chapter board, and over the course of 4 years on the NASW Pennsylvania board, served as a division representative and board secretary, and was a member of the Ethics and Social Justice Committees, co-chaired the Child Welfare Task Force, and was an Act 31 trainer. While no longer on the board, Tanisha is still active member of NASW Delegate Assembly. Tanisha also volunteered at the NASW National Conference twice as a student volunteer and has presented at 2 NASW Pennsylvania annual conferences and 1 national conference on topics including racism and social work profession, as well as death and grief. Earlier this year, Tanisha was invited to the state capitol to speak about mental health in the hospital settings at the unveiling of Governor Wolf's new mental health initiative. Recently, she co-presented at her first medical grand rounds for Morehouse Medical School, speaking about delivering serious news to families in family meetings. Tanisha is a member of Pittsburgh's death care community and has completed an end-of-life doula certification course. Tanisha can be found engaging in various threads within the medical, social work, and hospice and palliative Twitter communities. She is so good with the Twitter people. A member of the Social Work and Hospice and Palliative Care Network, Tanisha will be sitting for her Advanced Palliative and Hospice Social Work certification in just a few days. Tanisha is the new mom of a spunky 5-month-old daughter who gives her the best smiles. Again, Tanisha is just an amazing, amazing individual, and I'm so proud to call her colleague. I continue to love watching her career grow, and I'm just so proud of you, Tanisha. Thank you so much for all your work as a social worker. We can't hear you if you're speaking, Tanisha.
Be able to speak that way.
I'm already calling her. Hey, I'm gonna put you on so people can hear you, okay? Okay, let me know if you can all hear her, okay? Okay, go ahead.
Hi, guys. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
We got yeses.
Okay, great. Oh, this is different. So, good morning, everybody. I have to say that after so many years being on the board and attending so many of these ceremonies, it's kind of surreal to be here accepting one myself, especially one with such a special meaning. First, I wanted to thank the awards committee for this honor, as well as the board and the conference committee for persevering in these unsettled times to make sure that we all have access to this great content. This is great. This is a cool, kooky type of way to be doing this. And congrats to you guys for being able to pull it off. I'm not going to lie, this was a kind of a hard speech to write. As I was trying not to be self-deprecating, and that's kind of my go-to when people say nice things about me. I've never aspired to be a leader. People following me makes me nervous. I won't even share a book review for fear that I'll love something that someone else hates or hate something that someone else loves. But I've never really wanted to be a leader. I just want people to do better. And a lot of times what that looks like is just me speaking up against the status quo. But I guess my question is, does that make me a leader or just louder? And given how often I'm the only Black woman in majority white spaces, or am I just a lone voice? When I became a social worker, I wasn't out to change the world. My goal was to support people and living the best life they could manage in the environment which they lived in. I didn't set out to change things, but it wasn't long before I realized how much room for change there actually was. That's when I opened my mouth and haven't stopped talking since. In a time when people who look like me are fighting for the right to live, police violence, disproportionate COVID rates, it's definitely been hard to navigate being both a citizen and a provider. This year, there's been a real push for reckoning within our profession because it's time to move beyond conversation to action. It's time to refocus our gaze on the true meaning behind our ethical code. It's our guiding star. My ask for all of you is to amplify the voices of the minorities around you and help them access platforms and opportunities they might not have otherwise. At the same time, don't take us for granted. It's a lot of work and we're tired. And lastly, I dedicate this award to the Black women out there that constantly hear, I love your passion, but we must continue to speak our truth, even if it's hard for us here. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. And you know, girl, you just everything that you do, you're just such an inspiration.
Thanks, Kristen.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Next award, the Social Work Educator of the Year. Social Work Educator of the Year Award was founded in Pennsylvania 3 years ago to recognize excellence in education of the next generation of social workers. Dr. Wade has taught university for the last 15 years. And in that time has founded 2 degree programs, Human Services and Social Work. The difference not only to his current students, will provide a stream of needed social work professionals into his community for generations to come. Past year, he led GMU through the CSWE accreditation process with tenacity, celebrated his first graduating class. Throughout, he has led his students with compassion and concern. Vice chair of Causeway, he has taken a leadership role building a new partnership with NASW-PA to expand programs, services to students, not just at Gwinnett, but across the Commonwealth. We are proud to present this award for Social Work Educator of the Year to Dr. Wade.
Well, thank you, everyone. I want to thank NASW-PA, Joanna, Amy, Becky, Alex, my wife, my family who put up with long nights of paper grading, planning, and paper writing, which made it possible. I am very appreciative of this award. But I do want to say something, and I want to speak for educators. As educators, we don't do this for the award. We don't. We do it because somewhere in our life, we got a little flame, a little spark, something that said that we had to pass this on. So mine happened to happen about 41 years ago when I was a 20-year-old living from Louisiana, going to a very small school in the middle of nowhere. And I met a wonderful person by the name of Ann McAllister. And Ann gave me that spark, the social work program director. And she told me, as a first generation going to college, that I could go to graduate school, something I never thought I would do. And from her spark, I moved on. Now, I do want to say that Ann is actually sitting in the audience right now in the front row. I'm so happy to have her here. Love you, Ann. So she gave me that spark to go forward, where I went to Tulane University. And one of her teachers, Liz Rain, was very big in family therapy, an early adopter of family therapy. And she pushed me to go forward to the Philadelphia Child Guidance Clinic to study family therapy with some of the masters. But before I left, they introduced me to their mentor, and that is Edith Schulhofer. And Dr. Schulhofer had escaped Nazi Germany just before being put into an internment camp. And she started teaching at Tulane in 1950 and stayed there until retirement and continued to have a private practice until she was nearly 100 years old. And so with all that spark and flame, I was able to come to Philadelphia, practice for a while, and then knew I had to teach. And when I started teaching, wasn't I lucky that I met Dr. Phyllis Black? And Dr. Black gave me my first teaching job, as I'm sure she gave many of us in the audience, that mentorship and teaching. And so I started teaching, and she helped me find a job. I've been at Gwynedd Mercy actually 20 years now. And I'm going to tell a story that lots of educators have, because our job now is to spark and give the flame to the next generation. So I want to tell you just about a few of my students. So I'm thinking of Adefe Fodabatamati, who received her MSW at Temple University and is now a social worker at Children's Hospital. Kathleen Carroll, a recent graduate of Bryn Mawr, who now works with teens at Bucksman Academy. Megan Muscravit, who came with me to New Orleans just after Katrina, said she was going to come back. She did. She got her MSW at Tulane and has the greatest job in the world. She is the social worker for the Musicians Clinic. She helps musicians find social services that they need. I'm going to get that job for her one day. And Kelly Anderson, who also went with me to New Orleans, went down to Tulane and called me recently to tell me that she is now Dr. Kelly Anderson, receiving her DSW from Tulane, and is a social work counselor at an elementary school in the Upper Ninth Ward. And my Westchester colleagues will recognize the name of Melissa Dietzig, your new field director, who got her start at Gwynedd. See, these are just a few stories that all of us have as we send people forward. These are our awards. And for those students in the audience, and I know there are many of you, I ask you to do one thing, is check in with your teachers and let them know where you're at, because you are our award, and we want to know where our flame and the flame of our ancestors and our mentors goes forward to. We love knowing that. And let your flame burn bright. I want to thank NASW-PA again, all my faculty colleagues. I will appreciate and cherish this award forever. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Wade. It's been an honor to get to know you and work with you, and so well deserved. Okay. The next award we will be presenting is the, and I lost my Presidential Service Award. So this award is picked by the chapter president for someone on the board or that works closely with the board that has just shown really great service and dedication. And it's my honor this year to present this award to Nicole Hellman. Nikole, I've been fortunate enough to know since I joined the board in 2016. She's just an incredible individual, so dedicated to pushing NASW and just being such a great support to other social workers in the Commonwealth. And she doesn't even live in Pennsylvania, but works in Pennsylvania. So Nikole is a licensed clinical social worker working as a school social worker at the William Penn School District for the past 20 years. She received her MSW from the University of Pennsylvania and her BA in sociology from Lemoyne College. Nikole has been a social worker working in direct practice for over 25 years. She has experience working with adolescent delinquent males and outpatient therapy for individuals, families, and marriage therapy. In her school district, Nikole works primarily in 4 elementary schools from K through 6th grade and 10th through 12th graders in her high school. She is also actively involved in NASW Pennsylvania, in which she was the chair of the Brandywine Division for 6 years. Since 2001, Nikole has been involved with the Delaware County Suicide Prevention and Awareness Task Force, co-chairs the program and events, which holds an annual conference and a 5K walk and run, as well as being on the executive board. Nikole is just a really true light to the profession, and it's my honor to award her with the Presidential Service Award. And Nikole, if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
I'm trying to come on, but it's not letting me.
Okay.
Um,
I can hear you now, I think.
wait, you may still be sharing your screen accidentally. If you can try to shut out, if it won't let Nikole in. All right, Nikole, you should be able to do it now.
Hopefully the sun will be blocked. So good morning, everyone. First, I want to thank Chrissy Joe for this nomination and NASW-PA for this wonderful honor. I've been an active member of NASW for the past 27 years. Over these past 27 years, I was involved in NASW, but not fully involved until Troy Brindle asked if I would join the newly reformed Brandywine Division. After joining my local division and becoming even more active in the organization, I ran for the position of division chair in 2014 and remained the Brandywine division chair until this past June. Being a division chair allowed me the opportunity to learn more about what we do at the chapter and national levels and how the board functions. It also allowed me to work on developing conferences and social work events for my division members. As a school social worker, it also allowed me the opportunity to raise the issue that there's currently no school social work certification in Pennsylvania, which I'm happy to say is making progress. When I went off to college, I didn't plan to be a social worker, but considering law. Then as time went on, I considered getting my MBA, but my heart was with all the volunteer work I was doing. So I went to the University of Pennsylvania for my MSW. As many of you know, social work can be hard, draining, heartbreaking, and rewarding. I've had to go to funerals of some of the adolescent males that I worked with at St. Gabriel's Hall and have had kids ask me to come support them at their graduation as their invited guest. Over the past 26 years, I've held a few different positions, mostly direct practice, but also macro. It has allowed me the opportunity to use the skills that maybe I could have used as a lawyer or as a business professional, but have been beneficial as a social worker. Being a part of NASW-PA helped me to make connections, as well as my active involvement in the Delaware County Suicide Prevention and Awareness Task Force. Over the years, I have chaired numerous conferences on numerous different topics and have learned so much by listening to my colleagues speak and the knowledge they bring to the table. They have allowed me the opportunity to learn and grow. Some of my best times and most stressful times have been at conferences. I truly enjoyed when we were in person and could network, hang out after hours, listen to wonderful speakers, and just enjoy each other's company. This year, of course, is different, but my hope is next year we can see each other in person once again. For the past 20 years, I have been the school social worker at William Penn School District. William Penn is located in Delaware County. We border West and Southwest Philadelphia. Over the years, I've watched our school district change from suburban to more urban. We have a high rate of poverty. All the children in our district receive free and reduced breakfast and lunch. Our families have been struggling, and the pandemic and virtual learning has impacted their lives and mine as a school social worker. I spend most of my days now on attendance, locating kids, and technology issues. I know more about computers, Wi-Fi, and Google Classroom than I've ever known before. As one of the 2 school social workers for 5,300 students, I am the district suicide prevention coordinator, crisis coordinator, work with families and guidance counselors on coordinating services, and diligently try to find the service our families need. You know me, then you know I hate public speaking, so this was a challenge for me. Luckily, it was virtual this year, but being a social worker and part of NASW-PA, it has allowed me to express my opinions and be heard, present at conferences, and share a great division of wonderful people. Thank you so much to my family for supporting my desire to be a social worker, even when my first job paid less than my tuition was costing. To all my friends that I've made because of work, NASW-PA, and the Delaware County Suicide Prevention and Awareness Task Force, thank you for all your support and love. Once again, thank you for this wonderful honor.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much for all that you have done for NASW and just everything and all the people that you serve. You're just an incredible, incredible person. Thank you.
The next award is a new award. Next award, the Exemplary Service Award, is a newly created award that will not be given every year, only on years when we receive a nominee that warrants special recognition. In the case of Rachel Kerr, recognition is in honor of her dedication and commitment to serving Pennsylvania children. Quoting the nomination we received, Rachel Kerr is a wonderful leader, incredible advocate, and magnificent champion of disadvantaged and traumatized children of all ages. Her main role is supervisor of the Adoption Links program. She has been in this position for almost 20 years. Rachel, with her many years of knowledge of children in the foster care system, never takes "we don't know" or "we can't" for an answer. Finds ways to help children and their families with whom we work any way she can. Not only is she a wealth of knowledge, in the rare case she doesn't know the answer, she seeks out the answers and alternatives. Rachel makes sure her staff, myself included, are informed and educated on the latest theories, practices, and trainings. She is a wonderful advocate for us as well. In her tenure in that position, she has expanded services to meet the needs of more children. She does not hesitate to accept the most challenging cases, deeply believing there is a home for every child. We're so excited to present this first ever Exemplary Service Award to Rachel Kerr.
Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, good. Because it's really unfair to ask old people to create avatars because I find myself wandering around and I don't know how to walk. And I'm not even sure that I look like myself. But I think I'm on stage and I just want to say thank you. I have been a social worker my entire life, but I did get my degree about 33 years ago from Berkeley in California. And I have been in the child welfare field ever since. And I have to say that, like many other people in this audience today, part of my career is really because of Dr. Phyllis Black, who is an incredible role model and mentor for social workers who are curious about social work education, something that I find very dear. And I also am really, really thankful that I follow Dr. Levine, who I think is also an incredible role model and so full of strength and grace. And I hope that I can exemplify that also in my professional life. I want to thank NASW, and I want to thank the person who is supposedly anonymous who nominated me for this award. Because I know that the people that I work with appreciate me, but to this extent is really amazing. And what I wanted to say was that as a leader, as a social work supervisor, and a person who does ask for and call on students at all times. We have probably had students in our agency every year I've been there, and I had them in all previous positions since I got out of graduate school. I believe in social work, and I believe in social work education. I was raised in the 60s by people who taught me to stand up, ask questions, have my voice heard, and also required that I gain and use my knowledge for the betterment of other people. My father was a college professor, taught public speaking. My mother was a journalist and a trivia champion. And I have tried to bring those values to the work that I do with my students, with my staff, and with the kids that we work with and the families we work with. I consider any problem that we're faced with is just something that needs to be solved creatively. I hate when people say, well, we don't know what we can do about that. I'm always trying to think outside the box and encourage my staff to think outside the box. And I want to challenge my students and my the people I'm doing supervision for in the same way. Like, what else can you do? Even when it comes to policies, I'm always saying, well, why don't we try this and see how it works? Let's see what unintended consequences we run into. But I'm not going to just say, well, we can't do that. And the other thing that I have learned over the years is that I may not remember your face and I may not remember your name, but I'm going to remember your story. And my staff will tell you. They'll say, do you remember so-and-so? And I'm like, well, tell me the story. And as soon as they start telling me the story, I remember that person. And I remember the whole three-dimensional history of that person. And that allows me to kind of put myself in their story and help the person that I'm working with to figure out where to go next. So I'm not saying that these are things that can be taught, but they certainly can be modeled. And I know that they serve me well and they serve my staff well, I hope. I'd like to believe every one of them is going out into the world and making changes for kids in the foster care system, helping children find permanency, helping families create safe and appropriate homes for the children in their care. And I just want to say thank you to everybody in this room for being a good social worker. And I hope our paths cross someday. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations on a well-deserved award. All right, our final award is the Social Worker of the Year Award. Our Social Worker of the Year is given annually to a social worker who in the past year has shown remarkable accomplishments, and Jeanne Elberfeld is no exception. As the Executive Director of Schuylkill County Vision, Jeanne works on community programming to support health and wellness in a rural county, engaging in services such as community gardens and walking paths, immunization outreach, suicide prevention, resilience, and more. She employs her own unique educational background as both a social worker and a medical doctor, and serves as a renowned expert in ACEs and trauma-informed care. In the last year alone, she's provided testimony on ACEs and resilience to the House of Representatives, the PA Department of Health, and was appointed to the Pennsylvania Trauma Think Tank from the Pennsylvania Office of Advocacy and Reform. She also teaches at Marywood University's MSW program at Lehigh Valley. To quote her nomination, she represents social work values and ethics with anyone she comes in contact with. She develops strong relationships with students and challenges them to work to their potential so they can develop into strong social work leaders too. She validates others, uses strengths to build resilience, increases confidence in others, and educates through her knowledge and wisdom that make a difference to anyone who meets her. With that, I am honored to present the 2020 Social Worker of the Year Award to Jeanne Elbefeld.
Thank you so much, Joanna. Good morning, and thank you to all of you. And I want to thank you for recognizing our work in rural school. Schuylkill County reaches into our region and across the state of Pennsylvania. I also want a special thank you to Christina Gigler, who raised my name in nomination. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you, Christine. Self-care is so important for social workers. And one of the practices that I really enjoy is a gratitude practice, 3 gratitudes a day. Today's gratitudes will be big and bold. And I apologize for this light. I'm not sure where it's coming from. First, a gratitude to the NASW-PA staff, board of directors, and conference. I know how hard this conference is to put together. And in 2020, it was even more challenging. Your work is very much appreciated. I also want to thank you for hosting me as an intern back in 2012 and 2013. Amy and Justin and Alicia and Jean Marie, you guided my career so well, and I appreciate that. Second, I'm so blessed by my family, friends, mentors, and colleagues. Guide my steps, sometimes with a gentle nudge, and other times with a full speed, shoulder down body check, me walking forward. So special thank you to my mother and my dad. Today is my dad's 89th birthday. He died 3 years ago, but happy birthday in heaven. If I make you proud. And I have 8 siblings who also guide my path. Special thanks to Greg, Liz, Tyler, Jules, Spencer, Wills, and Stevie, sharing this amazing journey with me. Thank you to Schuylkill County's vision, to Mandy and my board of directors. I'm so honored to work with you and to work with the community partners that we've developed throughout Schuylkill County. Collaborate to make Schuylkill a more resilient and healthier, happier place to be. Thank you to Marywood University, Lehigh Valley Campus, Dina Carr-Gigler, my colleagues, and my future colleagues. You afford me the opportunity to share my knowledge and learn so much from all of you. Thank you to my mentors, to Arena, to Beverly, to Sally, Phyllis Black, who gave me a chance, Amy Sagan, Susie Hartman, Kay Jones, and all of my breast cancer survivor sisters. We are only strong as the scaffolding that we have, and you all make me a stronger person. Thank you. And third, but definitely not last, I'm so grateful for the opportunity to bring my eclectic knowledge into this creative, life-changing, resilience-building work of social work. I am a proud social worker. I love the work I do every single day. My career path has been circuitous, much like the song, God Bless the Broken Road that led me straight to you. Social work was not my first professional title, but I do believe that looking back, it was always my calling. For a long time, I felt stranded on the island of misfit toys until I learned the ACEs research and about the effect of trauma on individuals, families, communities, and beyond. And I realized the incredibly deep ocean of lost potential in our lives, in our communities. That opened the path forward, focused my work, and has allowed me to truly blossom in social work. Trauma-informed resilience building community work that I focus on is deeply informed and influenced by all of my previous education, training, life experiences, and all of you as social workers. Finally, we're in a very chaotic time full of division and confusion, and I would like to offer a quote from William Penn, acknowledging that he is an imperfect historic figure that hopefully will inspire us forward. He wrote, "We are too ready to retaliate. Rather than forgive or gain by love and information, let us then try what love will do. For if men did once see we love them, we should find they will not harm us. Force may subdue, but love gains. Let us then try what love will do." So as we move forward in relationships, building a more resilient world, I thank you so much for this honor. Truly honored and humbled.
Mhm. Thank you, Jeanne.
Yes, thank you for all that you're doing and all that you've done.